So, I owe you guys a bit of an explanation. So, where we left off last, you guys had seen my black W203. I was calling it Project W203 Evo. That was inspired by DTM cars, my 190E Cosworth. We had I don't think you guys even saw it with the DTM Raider Works turbofan type design, the RW01s. We had conies on it, we had lowering springs, the conies were adjustable, CLK63 Black Series front sway bar, H&R adjustable rear, a whole bunch of stuff. Some engine stuff that was a little bit experimental. A lot of you guys have been asking questions about how that was done, what's involved to get it done, what the cost is. I had been working on an article for that, but I think I might put together just a video detailing the parts, the cost, where to find them, what you do, kind of just a how-to guide, because I haven't really found one of those in full detail on the internet yet. So if that's something that you guys would be interested in, definitely let me know and I'll get on that. But that car was being built mostly through the winter, with the ultimate goal of being, it was my daily driver, but I also wanted to make it to a track day that I had signed up for in, I believe it was March. So pretty early in the year. It was probably more like May. March seems really early in the Northeast for a track day, but I think it was May. And it was just an open track day, but I had been building that car with the plans to go there and run that car. So it kind of got to the point where the winter was ending and I was slamming a bunch of stuff into that car to get it ready. I was actually running ahead of schedule, which is rare, and we did some new tie rods on it. We did tie rod ends and inner tie rods, and while we were doing that, we did the Synchro Design Works thrust arm monoball kit, which was awesome. And then we also did some custom made control arms that allowed for camber adjustment. So by the time the car was like string aligned, like bolted together, ready to go, we had, I think it was a month before the track day, I was running 245 with square RT615 Azenis, which it's a lot of tire to put under that car, and it took a little bit of massaging, but looked pretty good. We were running, I think, 3.2 degrees of negative camber in the front, and then rear was just whatever it would take because Mercedes. But car was looking good. It was running awesome. It was pretty much done. I mean, the interior was still a full W203 interior, so there was weight to be lost. I could have put a better seat in. I could have put a harness in. There was a whole bunch more stuff to do. The car was drivable for a track day. So coming home from work one day, and I pull up to a stop sign and there's cars coming. This is like a T-shaped intersection. So I'm waiting and waiting, and turns out the girl who was driving a Jeep behind me decided to try and blow the stop sign, except I was at the stop sign. So she hit me doing not a ton of speed, probably like 15 miles an hour tops. And the car was drivable, but it was at such an angle where you could see that the frame was tweaked in the back. So the trunk no longer closed because the latch had been pushed in about 4 inches probably. It sucked because I had a lot of time in that car. That was my first build that I've really done. You guys have kind of watched, those of you who have been there since the beginning, that car had a lot of attention in it. And whether it was the stuff you guys were seeing, which was kind of the hands-on work, versus the behind-the-scenes work, because there's not a ton of info on these cars. So for every job that I was doing or any new thing I was doing, there was at least an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours behind the scenes figuring out what's going to fit, what's going to work, what might work. There's money spent trying to make things work that it became apparent would not work. One good test of that whole thing, I don't really think I put it in a video, but I ran an oil pressure gauge tapping into the block, which is not the easiest thing to do. I put together a whole guide for it. Maybe I'll publish that one too. But yeah, there was a lot of experimental stuff that I was learning on that car that I was kind of trying to introduce to other people with that car. So it was very much an experiment. So I brought the car to a body shop. They also informed me that it was probably going to be a total loss. So I took the DTM RaiderWorks wheels off of it. I left the shocks and springs, left the sway bars. I did take the thrust arms and the adjustable control arms because those were kind of worth a good amount of money. But car got hit and got scrapped out with like some really good parts on it. EBC pads, nice rotors, all the sway bars. Someone somewhere, if they rebuilt that car, is enjoying it. But what I'm getting at here is the car was deemed a total loss. So I no longer own that car. That's why you guys haven't seen any video content on it. But mind you, what I was mentioning at the beginning of the story is this was back in May or so. It is now November. And I had about a month from when the car got hit to the track day, which after I got the feedback that the car was indeed a total loss, meant I had about 2 weeks until the track day and I had no car. I had already signed up. I decided I was going to go. So I hit the used car market and I ended up buying an R170 SLK 230. It was another manual Mercedes, which we love to do here. M111 car, so supercharged inline four, manual as mentioned. It had some Kleemann mods, so it had a Kleemann boost kit on it, making something like supposedly 220 horsepower and a ton of torque, which is great. Had K-Sport coilovers. That's about it. I was told the car was really well maintained. It had some miles on it. It was a great color. Had some Enkei wheels on it that I took off immediately. But yeah, so I got the car. I had about a week and a half to put it together, sort any maintenance issues, that sort of thing. So as like a one-man operation, I went at it. I did water pump, which for me was pretty involved. All the tensioners, all the pulleys, the accessory belt. I did plugs, I did oil, I did coil packs. I did, what else did I do? Oh, a bunch of other random things that are like R170 specific. If you guys want more info on the R170, I learned a lot very quickly. But I upsized to a fuel pressure regulator from a Volkswagen Beetle because that allowed the ECU to command more fuel to accommodate for the extra boost, which the normal fuel pressure regulator kind of had a cap. I think it was a 3-bar versus a 4-bar with the Volkswagen fuel pressure regulator. So I did that. I did brakes all the way around, not anything crazy. Akebono front pads and ATE rear pads, I think. It might have been Pagid, I don't know. Did those, just general maintenance basically to get the car ready. I did stainless lines all the way around. I did Type 200 brake fluid. And mind you, again, this is in a week and a half and I work full time. So this was like, it was the haul. That's why you guys didn't see any video content. I'll see if I have any photo content to stick together through this. So car went. Oh, I also slapped my my 615s, the Azenis, with the RaiderWorks wheels onto the car. They did not fit, so I rolled the fenders. They still didn't fit, so I raised the car. They kind of fit. So what I ended up actually doing was I ran our RE171Rs all the way around, which in my opinion is the better tire anyways. They're gone now, obviously. They're out of circulation, but I had to, and I bought 2 more after they were discontinued, so they were cheap. Ran 245 square. Went to Lime Rock. Don't have any video footage of that. The only footage that I got, the GoPro crapped out, so I didn't get anything from it. But had a great day. My first time on the big track. I grew up going to Lime Rock. That's why it was such a mission to get there. I've been attending races there as a spectator since I was about a year old. My dad drove there. We always go there as a family, so I've always wanted to be on the track. And I got out there in the R170. It was pretty quick. I was hounding some cars that were even quicker, far quicker than the R170, and I had an awesome time. And the car held up, which was great. So came home from that, and it was early summer at that point, and I became aware of the fact that the R170 wasn't necessarily the route that I wanted to go. Great car, really fun. Actually had a really nice balance to it. I think with the stat was with the top down, so the Vario roof folds into the trunk. I think it was a 50-50 weight distribution, but then with the top up, it would change it, so it's like 51-49, which was always really funny to me. I think I also have some autocross footage of that car being a little bit rowdy that I'll include in this, but it was a great car, and I just decided it wasn't the thing for me. I was looking for an apartment with my girlfriend. Here we are, down here in Norwalk, Connecticut now, but so selling the car was a bit of an incentive because I was going to need the space to move things, to live out of the car. It was my only car, and the SLK doesn't have much of a trunk. It was also older. So I sold it, and I bought my current car, which is a GD3 chassis Honda Fit. Definitely a change of pace, but I am building it with the intentions of hitting the Grid Life Sunday Cup Series next year. So for those unaware, rules for Sunday Cup, you have to have basically a slow car, and it is built to strict specifications, and everyone goes out there and runs time attack. So the rules are mostly stock things. You can only do one-way adjustable coilovers. You cannot run forced induction, NA only. You can't really do any power adder mods, or tune for them anyways. You can run an intake, you can delete the cats, whatever you want, but you can't tune the car. And the biggest thing is you have to maintain a pounds per horsepower ratio, not the other way around, 25 pounds per horsepower. So Honda Fit is one of the natural cars that slides into that group because they used to run a Spec Fit series that they then changed into the Sunday Cup. So I'm running a Honda Fit. It is, I call it the donkey because it's a pile, it's a workhorse. I get in it, it's ugly, and it does its job. So we've named that one the donkey as of now. It's had some light mods, it's on wheels and tires. I did some brake stuff, light brake stuff. And you can still follow that one along at the Instagram page, which is Danny_plays_with_cars. But kind of all that's seen so far is, I tore a bunch of weight out of it. There's going to be more taken out of it, but it's got intake, Axleback exhaust from DME. The intake is AEM. And then I did, what did I do? Sorry. Ray Bestis front pads right now. I'm going to be going with a different set, but I just threw those in as a standard maintenance item. It currently has 175,000 mile blown factory struts that have no fluid in them, but it has brand new lowering springs from the previous owner. So those will be getting ripped out. My ISC coilovers that are custom spec'd are on order. Should be here in like 8 weeks. I ordered them 8 weeks ago, so COVID ship times. But car is tuned on Flash Pro from Hondata by me. Factory rev limiter is 6,800. I'm revving it to 72 to 74, which I will not be able to do for Grid Life. For autocross and whatnot, it's great, it's excellent. Car feels much faster with it, which is hilarious considering it makes 100 horsepower. But I'm gonna have to run stock tune for Grid Life. So we'll be putting in Mitsubishi Evo 9 seat that I have. That'll be a video. Maybe custom harness bar of some sort. steering wheel. You can't do a ton for the class, so I'm gonna have to get a little creative. It is running some nice camber right now, but I want more out of it, so maybe we'll notch the struts, show how to do that. And yeah, and I just autocrossed the car up at the FCP Euro Proving Grounds. It was great. It was really fast considering it was just on DZ102 summer tires. The Grid Life class commands one of the Falken tires, either the Azenis, the RT615s, like I was running on the black and the yellow car originally, or the RT660, which is the superior tire. So we're going to see how that's going to shake down. Being that it is November here in Connecticut, it's about to get cold and snowy, so the car's about to go back on snow tires and be pretty dormant. It's still going to be my daily driver, so it'll be getting miles on it, and I'll be doing a little bit of work here and there, but I don't love wrenching in the snow. I do have a garage at this new place, but it's not the biggest, so we'll see what I can make do with. But coilovers are probably going to wait to go on until right before race season, and the plan for next year is no more nonsense. I am getting seat time, so you'll be seeing a lot more in-car footage and a lot less build footage, because frankly, I'm at the point where this time last year I had just bought the black car, the W203. So I built that car, had it totaled, built the R170, sold it, and then half built the Fit. So in the span of 3 years, in the span of 1 year, I've had 3 fairly involved projects, and I'm done. I'm ready to drive. So I'll still give you guys footage. I'm gonna go back through the stuff that I have for the black car, because that seemed to be a big draw for you guys. Obviously, a lot of you guys who are subscribed are coming from the black car. So I'll see what I can put together with that in terms of content that might be helpful in your builds. I learned a lot about those chassis, so always feel free to DM me on Instagram. I do stay pretty active in the YouTube comments, so you can ask questions and I'll be here. But I'm going to respond to the Instagram ones a lot quicker. So again, that's Danny_plays_with_cars, just like the YouTube channel. Just shoot me a DM. I'll try and answer it. I do still have some parts kicking around from the black car also. If any of you are interested in some of the takeoff parts, shoot me a message on those. Even down to the DTM Fiberworks wheels with the RE71Rs on them. Light track wear, not heavy track wear, just one day. So not a lot of that's going to carry over to the Honda Fit. So I'm sorry if that's a different direction than you guys were hoping this channel was going to go. I think the Grid Life Spec series pulls a lot of appeal in terms of the fact that I'm not going to be able, if I try to spend much more than $3,000, $4,000, maybe $5,000 on that car. Otherwise I'll break out of the class. So I get seat time for cheap, which means more events and more tires, more brakes, whatever. So I think it'll still be a lot of fun. I definitely am not done with Mercedes. I will be getting back to Mercedes. I know a lot about Mercedes. So again, any questions, anything I can help with, I'm your guy still. I am going to be in Team Honda for a little bit. I'm not really sure I'm going to be able to get as enthusiastic about a Honda Fit as I was able to get about my Mercedes, but we'll see where it goes. So I'm going to throw some video and photo that I just have accumulated through the past year to show you guys all 3 of these cars and some of the work that went into them. And I'm looking forward to bringing you guys more content. A little bit less content through the winter, but once we get to spring, we'll be hitting it hard again. So let me know what you think. As always, any questions, as mentioned, DM me on Instagram, shoot me a comment down below, and I'll talk to you guys soon.